Let me tell you a story that still chills me to the bone. A story that solidified my faith and showed me the true face of evil. It began with a call from a terrified family. Their daughter, a young woman named Clara, had changed, and not in any way you could explain through medicine or psychology. Her eyes, once so full of life, were now vacant, yet held a terrifying ancient malevolence. This is the story of her exorcism. When I first arrived at their home, the air was heavy, thick with a palpable sense of dread. The family met me at the door, their faces etched with fear and exhaustion. They led me to Clara's room. The door was closed, but a low guttural sound was coming from within. It wasn't human. It was a sound that seemed to scrape at the very edges of your sanity. Her father, a man who looked like he hadn't slept in weeks, warned me, "Father, she's not herself. The things she says, the things she does." He couldn't finish the sentence. I placed a hand on his shoulder, offered a prayer for strength, and prepared myself for what lay beyond that door. I opened it, and the room was a chaotic mess. Furniture was overturned, and strange symbols were scrawled on the walls with what looked like charcoal. In the center of the room, on a simple bed, lay Clara. She was rail-thin, her skin pale, and her dark hair was matted around her face, but it was her eyes that truly horrified me. They were locked onto me the second I entered, and they weren't the eyes of the young woman in the family photos on the mantelpiece. They were cold, intelligent, and filled with a hatred so profound it felt like a physical blow. "The little priest has arrived," a voice hissed from Clara's lips, but it was not her voice. It was deep, raspy, and layered with a chorus of whispers that seemed to echo from the corners of the room. It laughed, a dry, rattling sound. "Come to play with us. We've been waiting for you." I held my crucifix tightly, its familiar weight a small comfort against the overwhelming evil in that room. I began the initial prayers, the rite of exorcism, my voice steady despite the tremor in my hands. "In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit." The entity within Clara reacted instantly. Her body contorted, arching off the bed in a way that defied anatomy. A scream tore from her throat, a sound of pure agony and rage that felt like it would shatter the windows. "Silence," it roared in that same monstrous voice. "Your pathetic words have no power here." The room grew cold, an unnatural, biting chill that sank into my bones. Objects on the shelves began to rattle. A book flew across the room and slammed into the wall just inches from my head. I didn't flinch. I continued to pray louder now, my voice a bulwark against the encroaching darkness. This was the beginning of a battle that would last for days. It wasn't just a spiritual fight. It was a psychological one. The demon, for I had no doubt that's what it was cunning. It didn't just rely on brute force and cheap scares. It delved into my mind, my memories. It whispered my deepest fears, my past failings, my insecurities. It spoke of a mistake I'd made as a young seminarian, a secret I had confessed to no one. It used the voice of my deceased mother, begging me to stop, telling me I was hurting her little girl. It was a cruel, twisted assault on my faith and my very soul. "You think you are worthy," it taunted, its voice shifting, mocking. "You who are so full of doubt, you can't even save yourself. How can you possibly save her?" For a moment, its words found their mark. A sliver of doubt, cold and sharp, pierced my resolve. Was I worthy? Was my faith strong enough? The room seemed to darken further, the demon's laughter echoing in my ears, triumphant. But then I looked at Clara. In a fleeting moment of clarity, her own eyes surfaced. Tears streamed down her face, and her lips formed a single, silent word: "Help." That was all I needed. It wasn't about my worthiness. It was about her. It was about this innocent soul trapped in a prison of her own body. My faith wasn't a shield to protect me. It was a weapon to fight for her. I felt a surge of renewed strength, a righteous anger that burned away the doubt. I held my crucifix up, pressing it against her forehead. The demon shrieked as if burned, and Clara's body thrashed violently. The fight was far from over, but the tide was turning. The next few hours were a blur of prayer, holy water, and relentless spiritual warfare. The demon threw everything it had at me. It made the walls bleed a dark, thick substance. It spoke in ancient, forgotten languages, Aramaic, Latin languages Clara had never learned. It revealed secrets about her family, trying to sow discord and despair among them as they prayed outside the door. It told me the exact time and manner of my death, a chillingly specific prophecy designed to break my spirit. But with every prayer, with every drop of holy water, its grip seemed to weaken. There was a moment when the entity changed its tactics entirely. The violence stopped. Clara lay still on the bed, and a serene smile touched her lips. "Father," she said, this time in her own sweet voice. "Thank you. It's gone. I'm free." Her family, hearing the change, began to weep with joy outside the door. It was a tempting illusion, a perfect imitation of the girl they loved. The demon was offering me an easy victory, a chance to walk away a hero. But my gut, and the lingering chill in the air, told me it was a lie, a final, desperate trick. "I am not speaking to you, demon," I said, my voice hard as steel. "I am speaking to Clara. Clara, if you can hear me, fight." The sweet illusion shattered. Her face contorted back into a mask of pure fury. "Clever priest," it snarled. "You will pay for that." The final confrontation began. The room shook violently, the lights flickered and died, plunging us into near darkness, lit only by the candles I had placed around the bed. I knew this was it. It was now or never. I began the final, most powerful prayers of the rite, commanding the spirit by the power and authority of Christ to leave her. I command you, unclean spirit, whoever you are, along with all your minions, to leave this servant of God, Clara. He commands you, he who was crucified and rose on the third day. Each word was a blow. The entity howled, a sound of defeat and rage, a sound that seemed to rip through the very fabric of reality. Clara's body lifted from the bed one last time, suspended in midair, her arms outstretched as if she were being crucified. A black smoke-like vapor seemed to pour from her mouth, and with a final, soul-shattering scream that was not her own, her body fell limp onto the mattress. And then, silence. The oppressive cold in the room vanished, replaced by a gentle warmth. The foul smell was gone. I cautiously approached the bed. Clara was breathing softly, peacefully. As I watched, her eyelids fluttered open, and for the first time in weeks, I saw her, really saw her. Her eyes were clear, confused, and frightened, but they were her own father. She whispered, her voice weak. What happened? Tears of relief streamed down my face. I simply said, "Welcome back, Clara." Walking out of that room, I was a changed man. I had stood at the edge of a great abyss and looked into the face of pure, unadulterated evil, and I saw it defeated not by my strength, but by a power far greater than myself. It taught me that faith is not the absence of doubt, but the courage to act in spite of it, and that in the darkest of nights, there is always hope for the dawn. Thank you for listening to my story. If you found this compelling, please consider subscribing for more tales from my life's work. Stay safe, and God bless.